Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another conversation with Asha and Victoria. We call this Sister My Soul because the intention is as we connect as sisters, as friends, from a real place, a deep place, right where we are. We don't check in before we start the recording. That it's a space that we invite you into as well, to be with us, to be with yourself, to be in sisterhood. So today we're gonna, I'm just dropping this on Asha. We do everything spontaneously, but since we are both practitioners or we work with somatic presencing, I thought we'd start there. That we just take a moment and invite whoever's watching us as well to just drop into our bodies and connect in and just notice what we notice, connecting inward. And the reason why I wanted to start this way is I feel like my body has been talking to me, and I've been reactive today. So I wanted just to drop in and get that inner communication. We invite you to do the same. Just breathe inward and give yourself permission to listen to your body. What is the communication? What are the feelings arising within? And just breathe in and connect. Giving space for whatever wants to come forward to come forward. I keep having this image of a little child tugging on, a mom's shirt to pay attention. Sometimes that's what our bodies can feel like, and that's what my body definitely felt like today. Pay attention, listen. And give permission. Allow it all. And we'll just start here, right here with our check-in. And Asha, if you'd like to go ahead and start sharing what you noticed in this moment.
My body is tired. Yeah, my body's tired. It feels good though. I've been moving a lot in the last week. Mm-hmm. I'll talk more about that in a little bit, but my body is definitely tired. And it's grateful for the movement. And it's grateful that I am paying attention and asking for help, not trying to do everything by myself, not trying to lift things with my sore arm, just noticing. I feel pretty grounded today. My body feels pretty grounded today. The word essential center was something I talked about a couple weeks ago in my conversation, my Thursday talk. Coming to our essential center. It was a phrase I picked up from somebody else, and I really like that, that phrase, remembering to reconnect with our essential center. So I'm doing that. I'm grateful that the skies, although gray today, feel a lot less smoky, and that I am healthy and strong. And so I am not in the vulnerable population, even if the clouds or the sky is a little smokier. Yeah, I feel pretty good. Tired and good all at the same time. And a little bit fragile. Yesterday was a bit irritable. Less irritable today, but just like a little hair of fragility. Is there too, somewhere.
Yes. Yeah, wow, thank you. It was so interesting to have that image for me, probably, that this little girl tugging, like, pay attention to me, which is connected to my body. And so I'm feeling, definitely, my agitation is up today. I feel like this pit in my stomach today, and I feel sadness. And it's interesting as we can move into the different parts of the body. I feel joy here in my heart, but I feel a deep sinking sadness in my belly. I said goodbye to some friends today that are moving, and there was another friend that had just moved that was there, and just seeing that and recognizing from this time of quarantine and the isolation, there was some part of me, and I think it's a survivor thing, of trauma and abandonment that's still active there, that when people are distancing from me, some part of me just shuts off. Like so I don't feel in the sadness all the time, you know, because I'm a really tender, committed, loyal person. And so there's some part like, okay, they're not available, so I just shut it down or something, because I saw these three people and instant tears, just instant tears of saying goodbye, even though I know I'll see them again. So I felt that, and definitely a lot of irritability. And as you said that you had some irritability yesterday, better today, I was thinking maybe we should have we have the weather report, and then we have the, now unfortunately the air quality report. And what's the irritability quote report today? How's the
Yeah, I'm at
irritability?
like a 7 today.
Yeah, I'm at a 7. I would say I'm probably about an 8 or a 9. My poor husband got, the angry lip monster a little earlier today. And it's just like, it's, wow, what is alive in me? And that's a place of that curiosity. What is this? And I love, and I remember and remind him that anger is deep hurt or even sorrow coming forward, just coming forward, needing to be expressed. So yeah, so that's the feeling tone of our bodies. And now we can maybe move into some conversation around that. I love that you said gratitude, because when I was feeling my frustration earlier, I was like, oh, you haven't done much gratitude lately. So inviting in, I think of gratitude as such a power spiritual tool, like, when do you need gratitude? When you most are deficient in gratitude. Yeah. Yeah. So tell me more about where you've been this last week and
Well, I've been cleaning, purging, and organizing.
Perfect.
We've got some friends from California, one of my 40-year friends, and then his husband. They've been married now 6 years, and they're moving up here in the end of October. And so they're going to stay in our guest room for the winter as they get settled in and acclimated to life up in the Pacific Northwest. My friend's husband has been in his apartment for 25 years, a little cute, tiny apartment in Long Beach, California. And this is a big deal for him, for sure. His husband, my friend, my long-term friend, has moved a lot of times, but yeah, moving is still. It's a guest room that we've used as an Airbnb space, and also overflow when we do our glamp site here on the property. All the bedding, all the supplies have gone into the closets and tucked away in that room. So I'm clearing out every drawer, every cabinet, every closet, which then overflowed into every other space in my house. And I've been watching a program on Netflix called The Home Edit. These two
I've been
women.
watching that too. Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
it's so inspiring.
Right.
And I'm an organizer anyway. I used to organize people's houses, called it Divine Order. And so it's something that's, kind of near and dear to my heart. And I'm pretty good. And they're like on a whole nother level. So I've been looking at everything with fresh eyes and realizing how much, again, we've only lived here 4 years, but somehow all this stuff keeps accumulating.
Amazing.
And then when my mom and I switched houses, we still have a bunch of stuff here that's been theirs, and a bunch of stuff of ours was over there. So I think today, this week, I'm finally getting the last, like their pictures that were on the wall are now going on the wall in the other house, and our pictures are coming back into this house. So it's, for me, I think I said last time, September is a new year. And this is, I don't do spring cleaning, I do fall cleaning. So I've been every crack and crevice, every cupboard, my whole garage has been reorganized. I mean, it's been serious. And it feels really good because it's tangible, finite. I can see it when it's complete. I can have something that I can actually plan and organize, which these days we have so little of. I can complete it. I can know that it's something I can do regardless of what else is going on in the world. And I can claim ownership. My whole bookshelf, which looked like yours behind you, is going to be about a third as many books. Because again, I'm like, these books are not getting loved. They're sitting on the shelf, being unloved, unread, they need to go out into the world. And I was ruthless in my closet. I still have too much, but I got rid of a bunch of stuff that I really like, but I'm ready to let go of. And I already gave away a bunch of it to somebody and finished up the rest today and have a giant pile to go to the thrift store. So that purging and cleaning and making space for something new, not to fill up all that space, but making elbow room, because there's going to be 4 of us now in the house for a while. And it just the surfaces needed to be cleared off. There was too many clearing things. And it just it's feeling really good to do that, process and really choose, what do I want to look at every day? What do I want to have in my space? And I love the way they do books with color order. That freaks me out, because I'm so used to, like, here are my prosperity books and here's my Ernest Holmes books. And there's a part of that that's freaking my brain out. And I'm going to give it a try and just see how that works for me. I'm willing to try. I'm shaking things up a little and trying something new. And we've moved to twice a month for our Thursday nights now, with some deep body practices involved. And felt weird to not do anything last night, because I haven't done that for a while. So there's new energy. I feel something new is coming and shifting, and I'm paying attention. There was a lovely guy who plays the cello. One of my friends, minister friends, forwarded a video by him. He's doing an improvisational cello piece. But before that, he talked about, and this is kind of what I want to focus on a little bit today, was he said the difference between the break and the fix. What's that? Oh, what's he talking about? He said in every movie, in every book, there's always the point where things break, where things fall apart, where the hero is doomed, where it's never going to work. And then there's that space before the fix. And he said, it seems very tidy in most of the stories and movies and stuff that we watch, that there's a fix, but our life is like that. We constantly are having this, break, or, we say break open instead of breakdown. We say break open, but we have a break, and then eventually there's a fix. And the fix is always different. I just had this, the fix is in. The fix is in. That's a good thing. So he played a beautiful cello piece that sort of dramatized the break and the fix. And it was so pretty.
Oh, I want to see that.
Something about those phrases that are just ringing in me.
Okay, awesome.
And I don't know why.
Okay, well, we'll explore that. I have to say that cello is probably my favorite instrument. I love cello music. But I want to touch base. I want to go back, because we're tracking. I literally, before I set up the Zoom meeting, I was like, what's alive in me? And it is, well, the new moon was just in Virgo. So you are on it, sister. I mean, that is like a call to deep clutter. Like, and Virgo sees every detail, every nook and cranny, wants to clear it, and so a new moon phase isn't just the first day of the new moon. It's like a 3-day phase. So we're still in that. And I feel it. I'm like really called to it, but I do not have your gifting for organizing. In fact, I have a little bit of ADD. And what I see everything else I need to do. And so it's kind of, it's tricky for me and challenging. That's why I started watching that show. It's a part of my brain I have to train. It doesn't, those women are gifted, and like they walk in a room like, yeah, we got this. I'm like, but I definitely feel it is the energy. No matter that it's September, there's an energy right now that feels like streamline. What do you really need? And it's time, and it's that letting go too. And so for me, I love all these methods, like what is that one, the Marie Kondo?
The Kondo, yeah.
To bring you spark, does it spark joy? That's an awesome process. But for me, when I started journaling about what my intentions for the new moon, and decluttering and getting some systems in place and some more practical organization. And I thought, well, how can I do that, since it's not my natural ability, is to ask, who am I trying to emerge? Who am I, and who do I want to be? Not this. And then to create the intention and patterns around that. Like I want to live more simply and more in the flow. And all the things that I have around me aren't allowing me to do that. So it's like getting real and authentic, and who am I and who am I trying to emerge? And then now when I look at my clothes, I'm like, yeah, that was me 2 years ago, but is it even current me, and is it even going to be future me? And so I'm trying to let go, because I do feel like I've been holding like the stuff, and I've worked with people who have, like, especially I used to have a client years ago that was a depression baby, hoarding, holding,
Oh
right?
yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
and I can feel a little bit of that in me now. I think it's kind of new, and I think it's more because of the uncertainty around us. Like, will I be able to get stuff? Will I be able to? And it's real micro in there, but it's there. So I'm trying to, again, that trust muscle. No, we're all emerging something new. I'm emerging a new me, and I must trust that this old shirt is not going where I'm going. And
Yeah.
maybe all these books, I don't need them. I don't need them where I'm going. Yeah.
Yeah, when I first purged, I've purged books before when I've moved, and especially when we moved up here, I thought I got rid of a lot. Well, I also had a lot of my mom's books in the house because we're both major bookaholics, and we keep all these things for reference. Have I ever referenced those books again?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I read it, it goes on my
No.
shelf, I highlight it, I mark it
Mhm.
up. There's maybe 5 books that I reference back again. I'll keep those. And what
Yes.
I realized when I was clearing my shelf last time of books was, oh, I'm keeping these books on my shelf to look good. So if somebody
Mm.
looks at my bookshelf, they'll go, oh, look at all these fabulous personal
Mm.
growth books. Oh, look at these fabulous classics that you like.
Mm.
It was something about my ego that was trying to
Huh.
impress people with how much like, no,
Mm.
they're just taking up
Yeah.
space. Now I have more room for some of my pretty little tchotchkes that can, but again, how much do I really want to dust? Does it, yes, a lot of things spark joy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And is it taking me where I want to go? Going through my closet, there was a lot of, a lot of dresses and a lot like lately, like I haven't worn a bra since the pandemic started, and I'm thinking I may not go back. So I'm
Uh-huh.
like, if I can't wear this without a bra, do I need to keep it? That's
Yes.
a weird thing to think about, but and living up here, it's I don't need so many fancy clothes. But
Mm-hmm.
what if someday I have a different job and I'll go to the thrift store and I'll buy a couple of, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So there's these different filters we can look through, which is, what is even the purpose of this? What is the attachment of it? Like what you just said about books. For me, there is some security. Nobody comes in this room. I mean, not usually, especially not now. But it's a security. They're my friends. They're my, books for me. I mean, when I was 9 years old and was this really troubled latchkey kid and getting in trouble at school, one of my favorite stories, and I wish I knew her name, but it was a librarian. They'd send me to the library at nutrition and lunch, to keep me out of trouble. And I'll never forget. One day she said, "Do you want to take a book home?" And I was like, "You trust me with a book?" and and I'll never forget. It was Pennington Bear. And I
Oh,
took the book home, and I felt so empowered that she trusted me, and I fell in love with reading. So books makes me tear up, are like my friends. They're my companions, they're my teachers. They're very meaningful to me. So when I let go of a book, it's a hard thing.
yeah.
But for years, I've had kind of a lending library. So I don't keep books just for me. I keep it for, hey, have you read this book? But my books are getting kind of outdated now, even though I've got some of those oldies but goodies that you still go to. Um, and then we have anti-Google, right? We all can just go to anti-Google and get our references and the quote and that whatever we remembered about the book. But yeah, there is something more tactile and emotional for me with books, but it is a good thing. Again, the practice of letting
Yeah,
go
I
is a
love
good
a book. I'm not I've tried Kindle and I've tried audiobooks, and
mm.
there's something about holding a book I prefer. So I definitely get that. And
Yeah.
I will never let go of my Heinlein paperback collection, that I've started collecting when I was 14 years old. And so those are, the covers are falling off, and there's some things I will not part with, even
Yes.
though I may not ever read them again,
Yes.
because they mean, like you, I'm a bookaholic. I think I was reading a book in the womb,
Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah.
So yeah, there's something very tangible about that. But I also notice, even with novels, I rarely go back and read a book again.
Yeah.
I have a
Yeah.
friend that reads Lord of the Rings every year, once a year,
Mm.
reads the whole thing. And I'm like, that's awesome.
Mm.
But my brain remembers too much. And I'm like, I know what's going to happen. What's the point? So now I'm like, all these books have been sitting on the shelf being unloved,
Mm.
unappreciated.
Yeah.
Nobody, I dust them occasionally so they get a little bit of attention. But that's
Yes.
part of when I've helped other people, and also when I clear myself. My question is, if it's sitting unloved on the shelf
It's a
for
good.
over a year, these things have energy, and these things have a life, and they have a purpose. And if
Mm.
they're just being saved in my closet for someday,
Yes.
they're not getting to be there. They're not getting to express themselves.
Yeah.
And
I
that
love
makes
that.
me sad.
Yeah.
So can I get
Yes.
them into circulation in the world? And
Yes.
then that feels like, oh yeah, I just set them all free. I didn't lose them. I just
Yeah.
set them all free.
Love it. And the other part, when we set them free and let them go, they bless other people.
Yes.
We've already been blessed by them, and we're not doing anything with them. Go on. I love to handpick some clothes. In fact, I still have those shirts in the car for you when I get to see you. I love to handpick some of my clothes that I will give to somebody and then bless them with it. And I love that. So yeah, we want to hear about from you. Like, what's it like for you to let go or to declutter, and what are your challenges, and what works for you, and what's your method of, you know, being able to let go, especially during this
Yeah.
time. So want to hear that, but I want to go back to that other topic that you brought forward. So expand that a little bit more. The cello player and the,
Oh, the break and the fix. Yeah,
yeah.
it reminds me that in the midst of what, seems terrifying, horrible, hard, impossible, scary, all that stuff,
Mm.
that we're still in the middle. That
Mm.
helps me. Oh yeah, we're still in the middle. We're not, I think it's the Marigold Hotel. If you haven't gotten to the happy ending, you're not at the end of the story,
Yeah.
because so often in our lives, I've been seeing on Facebook a lot of people posting, yes, 2020 is awful, but is it the worst year that you've ever had? And
Mm.
every person is like, no, not even close.
Mhm.
I've had much worse years, much worse times, much more struggle, much more challenge, and
Mm.
yet we're here.
Yes.
And I've been talking with a lot of people lately who've had just, on paper, horrendous childhoods and terrifyingly terrible experiences in their lives.
Mhm.
And they're still here. And they're still here.
Yes.
And what I am blessed to be able to have conversations with them about is you could have checked out 100 times
Mhm.
and you're still here. And yes, you're having a tough day today, or yes, it seems, bad in this moment. And you chose to be here now.
Mhm.
And what I'm seeing is people choosing life over and over and over again, even when it's hard, even when it's challenging.
Mhm.
So that's what I like about this idea of the break and the fix, is that, they're not hard and fast. They're not one-time events.
Mhm.
They're over and over and over again, choosing
Mhm.
life,
Choosing life. Yeah. Yeah. I have to share a quirky thing that
choosing
I have.
forward,
What was that? Choosing life and
uh,
what?
and choosing forward.
Choosing
Like,
forward.
what can I do
Yeah.
to move forward? Who do I want to be? This may be who I am, but who do I want
Yes.
to be?
I wrote something like that in my journal this morning. It was something like, speak towards the direction you want to go.
Mm,
Towards the direction you want to go. Yeah. But I have this quirky hang up thing about quotes. And so I know that I saw that movie, The Marigold something Hotel,
Yeah.
but John Lennon said that because I looked it up
Good.
after. John
Good.
Lennon. And there's this great, there's a couple of sites where you can double check a quote because you see all of a sudden it's like, attributed to 5 different people. Who really said that? And I like to honor the person who said it. So John Lennon.
Me
And I love,
too.
yeah, I love that quote. So, but I'm not really, so, because I would say breakdown to break through. And you've reframed breakdown to break open,
Break open. Yeah.
break open.
Because every breakdown I've had has actually been a break open.
Yes, so
Just
to break open.
releasing the heart wall a little,
Mm,
taking out a few more bricks from the
yeah.
protected heart space.
Yeah. So I guess it sounds like what you're saying, or from this information, it's like to acknowledge just this is just another one of those places where we're breaking open. We've done this before. It's just a cycle. It's natural. We're just
Mhm.
doing it. And then on the other side of it is this other opportunity.
Yeah.
We survive and then we thrive. And we just have to remember it. And I just had a conversation with a friend about that the other day. If we could remember in the middle of the transformation or that painful moment, this too is purposeful. It's part of a cycle. I like to say unfolding. It's part of that unfolding process. But we don't always remember that. I mean, I know that I can sometimes struggle. I had an astrologer one time look at my chart and he said, wow, you go through many cycles of deep, deep Phoenix rising transformation being a Scorpio. And he said, this was probably about 10 years ago. He said, so you're probably used to that by now, right? And I was like, no, no, should I be? And maybe a little bit better, but it's still like, here we go again. Here we go again.
Yeah.
But to have
Yeah. Can
grace,
I just have some stability for a while? Like
yeah.
I used to say to my mom, can I just have an even life? She said, but you like roller coasters. I'm like, damn
I
it. You're
love
right.
it. I love it. And you know where you're naturally going. I love this. We're so tracking. The other thing that popped in my mind was being with what is and, not denying it, acknowledging the feelings, all connected, but then using the tool, the powerful, positive tool of reframing, which is what you did with no, it's break open.
Yeah.
And I call it the reframe game. Like how can that sound different and land better in alignment with my soul and give me like, it is still the same thing, but I've reframed it in a way that is more like my body says, okay, I can do that. I can do a break open instead of a
Yeah.
breakdown. Yeah. Do you ever play
Yeah,
with
and
that?
it used to be for me, kind of pushing away or negating my feelings around it to try to
Mhm.
get beyond that quickly. But
Mm.
it does, for me, it does both. Finding that
Yeah.
different word, you know, it allows me to feel what I'm feeling.
Mhm.
It's the yes and. Yes, I'm
Yes.
feeling this in this moment, and I know that there's something else
Hmm.
that's going to follow along in the heels of it. And break open, it just always reminds me of the seed. The seed
Mm.
doesn't know that it has to explode
Mm.
and fall apart to become what it's supposed to be next.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
then it grows and it pushes in the dark through the
Hmm.
soil and comes out, and then it has this life, and then it goes back to the earth. And
Yes.
it doesn't, I would imagine that's, kind of terrifying for the little seed. I'm just here, cozy in the earth, all
Pretty
snug, and then,
cozy.
oh my God, what's happening? I'm breaking. Like it's becoming. And so, yeah, that break open reminds me of the seed. Something's
Yeah.
blooming here, and I may have no clue what it is.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. I love it. Yeah. So reframing, and we talked about this before. We both like to play with words and just,
Yes.
okay, try this word on, and I'm going to adjust it so it fits more with my purpose, my intention.
Yeah.
And play it because I think it's just another way when we reframe, it's just offering different perspectives of the same thing. Like I can see it this way and be stuck here and it feels painful. I'm breaking down. um, but let's try on this perspective. Maybe I'm breaking open, or maybe I'm breaking towards something that I wouldn't have ever seen before. So I love that. And I keep thinking too that I don't know if it fits here, but you'll probably know, I keep having this image of those, is it Japanese art where the ceramics break and then they
Mhm.
take the gold filler and makes it's still sort of the same container but new and beautified. You know, that they honor those break points, those cracking open places, right?
Yeah.
And honor it. Because what's that quote too by oh gosh,
Leonard Cohen.
yes,
That's the crack where the lights get. That's where the light gets
yes,
in.
yes, that's it. The
Yeah,
crack
well,
is where
just
the
before the
light gets in.
shutdown, I was at a women's retreat, and one of the processes we did was she had brought all these pots and jars and cups, and each one of us picked one for whatever reason it called to us, and then we broke them, and then
Hmm.
we put them back together with gold glue.
Oh
And
wow,
I have
cool.
a little plate that I picked. It was a flat plate, kind of a cool thing. I thought, oh, I could put, jewelry in it or something. And it
Hmm.
was, and none of us could put our thing back together by ourselves
Oh, how interesting.
because the glue dried so fast that you needed to be able to put the glue on and get the two pieces or the five pieces or whatever that you were putting together all together at once. You couldn't do it with only your two hands. Every person struggled when they
Yeah.
tried to do it alone and had
Mm.
to ask for help.
Wow,
It was a beautiful metaphor.
that is
It
beautiful and
was
powerful.
satisfying to break it. People were like, but I like this. I don't want to break it. She's like, okay, well, and then when people started, we put a cloth over them so we'd be safe. And then we just smash them. And it was like, ooh, that was really satisfying. This is my ex-husband, my relationship. And this cracking open, this breaking apart
Oh,
of my life,
hmm.
and then putting it back together again with this beautiful, exactly what you said, this gold weave
I love it.
that that shows that we can become whole even in
Mhm.
pieces. And some pieces were
Yeah.
some people's pieces, but they said, oh, I really like this little hole right here. It
Ooh.
reminds me that I'm still whole even though this piece is missing
Oh,
or no longer.
beautiful.
It was such a
Oh,
good.
beautiful. For years, I've had this desire since I did a facilitated grief support group to do mosaic, but to do the very same thing, to take something precious, a cup or something, ceramic, and then break it apart. And I wanted, and I still want to do this with a grief process with a retreat someday, break it apart and then put it together in the shape of a heart, this
Mm,
broken, but pieces of memorabilia and memories that still are part of our heart. They look different, they're held differently. And I have yet to do it. I finally found a mosaic artist just before the quarantine, and she said, "Sure, let's get together and play." And then it's like, okay. So when we're out, I will. But yeah, that, and I think that is the natural thing we do organically. It's part of our resiliency. Our psyche is taking the broken pieces and finding new purpose, finding new place so we can continue. And that's where our strengths grow from, and that's where these new aspects of our being shine through that maybe we weren't present to. So we made a decision for all of you out there. I got some feedback. We got some feedback that shorter would be a little better so that you can digest what we're offering a little bit more. So we're going to wrap up right here with maybe a beautiful prayer from you, Asha. Would you?
sure.
And yeah, we'll see how this goes.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thanks. That was great. So we just take a deep breath and let it go. Aren't we grateful we can do that? Another deep breath and let go. I sink into my essential center, that part of myself that is always connected to the life of the world, the life of oneness, the life of love, the life of this beautiful energy that creates all things and that we are a part of, that we swim in an ocean of and don't even always remember that. And yet it is there, just waiting for our recognition, pressing up against us, running through our veins, vibrating and animating our very existence, this powerful oneness. And I am so grateful to remember that all of life is enfolded in this. And that when I feel separate or separate others away from myself, I can come back to my essential center. I can remember that each of us are going through our individual processes, breaking and fixing over and over again, letting the light come in through the cracks in our souls, reforming, recreating, discovering anew each and every day and each and every moment. Who do I choose to be in this moment? Letting go of all the moments that have gone before, letting go of all the old paradigms of who we've thought we've been, or who we thought we needed to be, or were supposed to be. And stepping deeply into this moment, into who do I choose to be in this moment. And so in great gratitude for this time together, as always, the authentic nature of our sharing, the awarenesses that we seem to share across time and space, the path that life is on in the direction of growth and evolution, of kindness and compassion in the world. I'm grateful for all of it, and I simply and easily let go of this knowing in this moment, trusting in the process, trusting in the perfect unfolding of life, no matter how it looks in the moment, trusting that we are in the middle of the story, and it is unfolding beautifully, chapter by chapter. I let go in this moment, here and now, and so it is.
So it is. Woo! Wow, you brought it. Woo! Thank you. That was amazing. Grateful for this time. Grateful for the breaking open. We want to hear from you. Share your gratitude. Share your breaking open moment. And share about letting go and making peace with that. Wherever you are, we want to hear from you. Thank you for sharing some time with us. And we'll see you next time on Sister My Soul. Thank you.